Hey everyone, today I'll be breaking down 5 licks from my Purple Rain covers with Mark Lettieri and Chris Buck. We're going to look at some really interesting ideas, concepts and techniques that you can study and explore. Free tabs are linked in the description. Let's dig right in. So here we go. Let's start with the first lick. This one goes over the F sus2 chord, and we're in the key of B flat major, so that means we're dealing with a 5 chord. The underlying mode would be the F Mixolydian mode. One thing that I strongly recommend you do is that you download the tab from below and look at the rhythmic notation here, because you'll notice that this lick doesn't start on beat 1, it starts on beat 3. And one thing that is important to me in general is that I'm very rhythmically aware. Whether I play rhythm or I play lead, I'm fully rhythmically aware of what subdivisions I play, where a phrase starts, where a phrase ends, what the exact note lengths are, etc. So the first thing I might do is I look at this transcription and I might count myself in and then vocalize the rhythm in a loop, okay? Something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, da 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 da, 1, 2. Da 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 da. You'll notice that there are 3 triplets, 2 16ths, and a quarter note. Yeah, and you want to have that down. That is not negotiable. It does want to be on the beat, at least in the style of music or in the style of guitar that I play. So now that we got the rhythm, let's assign some notes to it. I start on the root note of F, and most of the time I'll be referring to the interval functions of the underlying chord. So in this case, that would be F over the F chord, that is root. And we have a G, that would be second. We have an A, and that would be third. This is how I think about improvisation in general, so this is also how I communicate my ideas. Sometimes, like with blues-based material, which is part of this lick as well, I'll think of a key center or something like this, but in this case, I think of playing over the actual chord because that makes me do different note choices. So I go root, second, third on the A string, and then I go 7th, 2, or 9th, natural 9, and root on the G string, and that is an enclosure. I have a target note, which is the root note F, and I target it from below and above, and therefore enclose it. As far as picking is concerned, I'm starting with an upstroke, because I want to end up with a downstroke on the downbeat, so I kind of reverse engineered that. And that is really important for me to lock in rhythmically, also on a physical level. And that leads us to bar 2. Here we encounter a 3-1-3 pattern. 3-1-3 refers to the configuration of notes per string. We have 3 notes on the A string, 1 note on the D string, and 3 notes on the G string. And the reason I use that pattern is that it's very easy to economy pick, and it makes for a very smooth sound. So I actually find notes that fit the pattern, right? The physicality comes first because that allows for a very smooth sound. And I find notes that fit within that mold. So here I'll start on the 3rd, which is the 12th fret A string, go up diatonically, and then I go up in thirds, which results in a C minor 7 chord, or C minor 7 arpeggio rather. So, and I enclose the major 3rd of F. As far as picking is concerned, we're going down, up, down, 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 up, down, okay? And we end up with yet another downstroke on the downbeat. Super convenient to play, it's fast, it's smooth, but it's also locked in rhythmically. And then I do the exact same thing, starting on the 15th fret, which is the 5th of F7, go up diatonically, and there I play this arpeggio right here. So we're in the key of B flat, so that is an E flat major 7 arpeggio. And we enclose the 5th of F. Both together sound like this. And let's play the first 2 bars in succession. Goes like this. 1, 2. Okay, make sure you get that down first. Let's get it up to speed a little bit. 1, 2. Something like that. From there we go into this little melodic idea. Goes like this. And that refers to the underlying cadence, which is... It's very iconic, right? And I cite that rhythmically. I I kind of try to tailor my solos and my improvisations to the track. I see it as kind of a tailor-made suit as opposed to a one-size-fits-all kind of suit, right? I want this to be very specific to the song, so I will often cite themes from the song in my solos, quoting that rhythm. And from there I go into a blues idea in the key of B flat major or G minor, however when you think about it. I kind of think of it in a key-centric way, so I don't really think about how that relates to the chord. It's just a piece of tension that I create. It's like a chanty type thing. And I create it by fretting the 17th fret on the G string, bending up a whole step, and then playing the same note fretted on the B string. Everybody who's dabbled in blues and rock guitar has encountered this, and then I add an 18th fret F on top on the B string. And that gives this little polyrhythm because we're playing a group of 3 against a binary beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Something like that, how does it go? This is how it resolves. So, as far as picking is concerned, I'm doing 2 consecutive downstrokes. But I don't sweep, I actually do discrete downstrokes. And I have this little pull-off idea. This is how it goes, using the G minor blues scale. And that concludes the phrase. And now let's play the whole thing one last time. 1, 2. A little faster. 1, 2. Lick number 2 is fairly easy to understand, but can be hard to master. It requires some technique and some dexterity in both of your hands. And it is based off an E flat sus2 arpeggio. So we got 3 notes, 5th, 2nd, and root. And I'm playing them in a sequence of 3 notes, descending from the top note. And I do that over and over again as 6 tuplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And as far as technical execution is concerned, I do a downstroke, a pull-off, and an upstroke, repeat. Then I sustain on the highest note, so slow it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4. A little faster. Okay, and that is bar number 1. Bar number 2 is based off of a very popular shred sequence containing 6 notes played as 6 tuplets, starting with a downstroke using strict alternate picking, and goes like this. We've heard countless shredders play this. Let's play it a little bit faster. What I do here when I practice this, I do a massive downstroke accent on the downbeat that keeps my 2 hands locked in. In between, it's kind of whatever goes, but I want to make sure that I hit that landmark on the downbeat on the first note with a downstroke, and then I know I'm kind of good. And I take that down to strings as well. Practice that on each set of strings until it feels comfortable. And then I conclude the lick with frets 12, 13, and 15 on the D string, strictly diatonic to the key of B flat major. And then 4 notes on the G string, including a chromatic note. And that chromatic note is there to lead us back to the tonic chord and play the root note as a target note on the downbeat. 1. That creates that satisfying resolution. The whole second bar slow goes like this. Fast. The whole lick slow. And the whole lick fast. Sorry, that wasn't the whole lick. Let's do it again. That was the whole lick. Have fun. Before we move on to the next lick, let's quickly break down the tone I'm using here. My gear of choice for this lesson comes from today's sponsor, Positive Grid. I'm using their new Reactor amp. It's a 100 watt gig ready amplifier, but it's also switchable down to 25 watts or 1 watt for bedroom use. The entire sound you're hearing comes from the amp itself using a blend of room audio and the line out, and that includes all the effects as well. Everything is on board and foot switchable, so you can use it like a proper amp rig. You can also connect to the amp via Bluetooth and tweak every part of the sound in the app, from gate to compressor to drives to the amp models and the post effects. As you can see, there are no IRs involved here because this combo actually houses a guitar speaker, which really helps with that amp in the room type feel that guitar players are after. Looking at the top panel, we have the usual tone shaping tools like gain, master, and an EQ section, but also some more unusual parameters like the push smooth and heat dip switches. These change the frequency response and gain structure of whatever amp you're using. You can grab the preset I'm using today, it's called the High Gain Lead, from the Tone Cloud inside the app and load it onto your amp. You'll also find tons of other presets by artists and players from all around the world. There are also some really unique features in the Creator Hub of the app, such as tone capture and a few other tools that let you go much deeper if you want to. Head over to Positive Grid's website through the links below to find out more. Now back to the list. The next lick is fairly weird sounding and fairly complex to learn. This one uses a lot of seemingly random interval jumps that are a fifth or greater. And even though it's strictly diatonic, it has a weird sound, and I attribute that to the nature of those larger intervals at seemingly random places. So let's hear this thing slow. I actually have to relearn this on the spot because my transcription is wrong. I'm gonna have to fix it after the video, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. It starts on beat 4, goes over G minor, and here goes nothing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's break this one down very, very slowly. We're starting on the minor third on the low E string with a downstroke, and we hybrid pick an F on the D string. That is a fifth interval already. And we slide up from the F to the G and go down to the F fretted on the A string with a downstroke. This alone you want to practice. And then we add another fifth jump with yet another middle finger use. And I love this sequence of notes. It's such a cool launching pad for a lot of cool other ideas that you can do. And it's fairly comfortable to play as well, despite its weird nature. Or unorthodox nature. Continuing, we are going into this arpeggio. This 3-note arpeggio, G minor 7. Utilizing the 5th, 3rd, and 7th, but it jumps intervals, so it has a fairly wide intervallic layout. And the picking is downstroke, middle finger, downstroke. That is the first half. The second half starts on the high E string, sliding up with the first finger from the 4th to the 5th. And I do a downstroke, maybe an upstroke, who knows? Who's to say? On the F here, and then I descend what I call the pentatonic plus. Meaning I utilize the notes of the minor pentatonic and I add a 9th to it. Until I hit the high A here. Let's play the whole thing one more time until this point. And by this time the chord has changed to F major, which means our target note A here is actually the major third of that chord. And I descend going 3, 2, 1, 5. And if you've read my book, Modern Rock Guitar Soloing, you'll know that I refer to this as a tetratonic. Tetratonic being an arpeggio, or sorry, a triad, in this case F major, plus an added note, in this case the 2. So 3, 2, 1, 5. And from there I descend with the another tetratonic using the 4th. So F major triad plus 4th. 5, 4, 3, 1, 5, 4, 3. And I conclude like this. So tetratonics all over the place, how I like it in my playing, the whole thing goes like this. Lots of fun to be had with this one. This next lick is based off of a pentatonic sequence that is popularized by players such as Eric Johnson and Paul Gilbert. It utilizes the G minor pentatonic in our case, grouped as 6 notes, played as 6 tuplets. And it goes something like this. Now that is it slow. Let's break it down here. We're using the mother of all fingerings, and that is the E shape of the G minor pentatonic. So it's the very popular pentatonic box that everybody knows. And we're sequencing it over sets of 3 strings. So we're going to go E, A, D, G, and D, G, B as 6 tuplets, okay? And I alternate pick everything starting with the downstroke minus the second note. There I use a little hammer on to give myself a little bit of a head start. So I go down, hammer, with fingers 1 and 3, and then everything else is alternate picks. I like to use my fingers 1, 3, and 1, 2, depending on where I am within the sequence here. So I go 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. And up here, I play this little melodic line that utilizes a fretted note and then another note bent from a half step below into the same note as the fretted note. And up here I play a melodic line that uses a bunch of pre-bends. If you weren't to do the pre-bends, it would be fine, but not as spicy. So you want to learn to do that quick little move. It's a nice little trick to add to your toolbox. And let's play the whole thing in conjunction with the rest one more time. It goes like this. And tempo. Make sure you squeeze every drop out of those notes. The first part of this last lick is inspired by John Petrucci and goes something like this. It's a group of 5 notes, even though you don't really notice it when you play it in context, but the 5 notes are B flat, jump an octave to another B flat, go from the 4th to the 5th with a slide, and jump another octave. And then you do the same thing over from the next B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? From there, you descend by moving your first finger down with a slide and following up with an octave, bouncing back and forth between those 2 notes. You can move that around as you please to create your own licks. So the whole thing goes, and it ends on the major 3rd here with this bend. And there we go into the second part of this whole section. And the second part uses some chromaticism, and I don't really know what inspired this whole thing. I haven't really played it since, but it's a kind of cool idea using some chromaticism. It goes like this. And it also utilizes what I call start-stop phrasing, where you have a quick succession of notes followed by a long note, another quick flourish, another long note. So tension and release within a very small time frame. It goes like this one more time. I pick it fairly aggressively. And I use these little buzz trills as well. Like right before you release the note, you slide up a little bit and take the note away. I kind of got inspired by bass players to do this. And Tom Quayle uses it as well, Greg Howe, lots of guitar players do it too. And as far as the notes are concerned, I go from the 2nd to the 7th chromatically, then from the root to the 6th, from the flat 6, which is out of key, to the 4th for maximum tension, and then release it by going 3, flat 3, 2, and 1. And there the whole thing resolves. And from there, we move into a little pentatonic line that rounds off the whole piece, right? I always like to ground these more angular ideas with something really solid and tangible. Let's hear the whole thing slow one more time. And fast. Make sure to put a big vibrato on that last note and everybody will be happy. And that is it for today's lesson. I hope you got something out of this and these concepts are meaningful to you. Let me know in the comments which solo from the session band you would like me to break down next. And don't forget to grab the free tabs from the link below, support me on Patreon, or check out my store for presets, more tabs, and instructional material. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video or on the road. Bye bye.